Hey, my name's Shane Hunter, and I'm talking to you, and I'm telling you my intention to try and start a global revolution. Now, before you assume that I'm crazy and that I'm mad, um, hear me out, because I think society is crazy and mad. Um, point in case the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. How can the population of the so-called free world allow their governments to drop bombs on kids? I mean, it just goes against any basic reasoning. You're not going to be able to stop people who feel that they're under threat by your government and thus need to call in their name of their religion for people to try to stand up against it. It's madness to think that you're going to stop those people by killing more civilians. You know, but that's precisely what the Western world does because our governments don't represent our interest. They represent the financial interests that control them. They want war in other countries. They want Islamic extremists to spread up across the world so that they can justify to their publics an excuse to go into those countries, topple the government, take over the regime with a puppet government, so that they control the natural resources of the country. And if you don't think that's the case, that's happened so many times through human history. You only have to Google America's meddling in foreign countries or Americans' war crimes. I mean, it's so out there in the open. It's there's no excuse not to know about it in the age of the internet. That's why I'm going to do everything within my power to communicate through the internet and through my social circles to try to make people aware of this and to know it's simply unacceptable. You know, and it's not just because I'm on some noble cause and I want to stop suffering in the world. It's because I'm very well aware that the repercussions of having a government out of your control that is engaged in the acquisition of resources through violent means is incredibly causes incredible instability for the world in a globalized economy and a globalized world. You know, China and Russia have both said that they'll go to war with America if America invades Iran. But America is still beating the war drum about Iran. The reason they've said they'll go to a war is because Russia and China, the two big countries that actually have nuclear weapons that are free from America's control, uh, they have said that they'll go to war because that's where they get their oil from. They get their oil from Iran. But America wants to go to Iran, control the oil. And if you don't believe me, all you need to do is look in history and see that America toppled a democratically elected secular government in Iran and set up a dictator monarch who would um, be subservient to America's financial interests, and he was. They overthrew their democratically elected government. They put this puppet in power, and then he pumped the oil to the U.S. Right? The reason this is relevant to me as a person, and the reason it's relevant to you, is because these things are going to cause inevitable conflict between the world's superpowers for resources, because America is trying to make Russia and China play an unfair game. And not that I support the Chinese and Russian regime, but I certainly do not support going to war with them, even as much as I don't like what's going in. I would never want to go to war with a nuclear power. And it's relevant to me because I cannot no longer participate in my life that would be in harmony with a life that I would ideally imagine for myself, in which I would be able to have a job, have a secure income, take control of my destiny, do what I want to do, find romance, find love, have a family, get a house, have friends, travel the world. All these things are no longer going to be possible, and because of this, and this is why I'm going to act, because I'm not just going to look around waiting for others to act, because I know they're not going to act unless they're seeing someone else act, because I'm looking for that person, but I should be looking in the mirror. And anyone who's listening to this, don't have low self-esteem and don't believe that you can't do something. I mean, think about anyone who's ever done anything in their lives. Muhammad Ali, wasn't saying negative stuff about himself. He wasn't going around You know, he was saying sting like a bee, sorry, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He wasn't going around saying, you know, I stink like a turd and I'm going to be flushed like a turd. No, he believed he could do something, and I believe I can do something. And one thing I can definitely do is I can make sure that no matter what happens to me, how uncertain things happen, I know that I at least did something to try and stop the corruption in this world and try and stop these illegal wars and to try to make people realize they are their own salvation. You cannot rely on any government or any authority in order to keep you safe. You have to take control of your own destiny. You are your salvation, and we can have a much, much better world if we get rid of these maniacs in power, right? By making people aware of their insane lies. Thank you. Please please respond to this video. Don't take my word for anything I've said. Please Google and fact check your own. And people who know what I'm talking about, please create some sort of media, no matter how silly it is. Probably the sillier the better. You know, if you're slipping over a banana peel and you're going, "What? I'm the world economy," and you upload that on the internet and you show your friends, it's going to make a difference. I tell you, it's going to make a difference. And if you keep making videos and you keep doing stuff, it's going to have an impact. You know, inspire global revolution. I know how afraid you are as well, but don't be afraid to look crazy, because the only thing that's crazy is doing nothing.